Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of To Opinionated. I'm pretty excited today. I've got actor Kristopher Maz with me. So, welcome, Kristopher.
Thank you, Michael. It's great to be here. It's been awesome.
Yeah, I'm so excited to talk to you. I just watched your movie,
Oh, you did?
Rock,
Oh,
Paper,
great.
Scissors.
Yeah.
Yeah, hilarious.
You liked it, huh?
I did. I did. It was actually really good. It was really good.
It's a little
It
cult. It'll get to be like a little bit of a cult classic sooner than later, I would say.
that see and I'm nerdy, so I love those type of movies. But
Yeah.
I think you're exactly right. It kind of had a dodgeball feel to me. You
Dodgeball
know?
meets like super bad kind of feel and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely had some super bad overtones to it. It was really good. It was really
I
good.
love the underdog aspect of it. And I think I
Yeah.
had some pretty good, I don't want to call them one-liners, but I had a pretty good, you know, my bit parts that I have, should I say, like the cameos that stood out to me, should I say. I loved them. I loved
Oh,
them.
your character was hilarious. So you played Rerun,
I played.
and he was so funny, and you really did. You made a lot out of every scene you were in. Hilarious.
Thank you so much. I
Like
liked it
I got a kick out of watching your facial expressions, even when you weren't talking. I just thought it was really good.
because he's a little bit stupid but smart at the same time, and that
Yeah,
and I love like when he flicked up the little girl. I totally forgot about that scene, and I actually laughed out loud myself, and I was like, oh
yeah.
my god, you cracked me up. So
There was parts of the movie that just had us rolling. My wife and I watched it together, and it was so funny. The announcer for the competition, I thought that guy was killing me.
yeah.
So funny,
I
so
think
funny.
maybe that was a lot of improv. I'm not exactly sure. I wasn't on set for his takes, but yeah,
Oh,
maybe
that's
they
even
set up
funnier if it's improv.
if you see the part in the movie where I'm wearing like a orange shirt and I'm doing
Yeah.
the remote control where they're doing like we're doing the sequence for rock paper scissors, where I'm like playing the remote control like it's my business.
Yeah.
That was all improv. So like
Oh,
I'm happy.
really?
Yeah, I'm so happy the director like kept stuff in. So a lot of that was like my own, and they were like, okay, shoot what you do, what you want to do, kind of do, and I went for it. So I
Oh, that's
like
hilarious.
because you
Well,
could see
so
some of my co-stars, they're like looking at me like they want to break character and laugh. So it was really funny.
well, that's not what you want though, because then it's not an improv anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But I
No,
pushed my
that's funny.
yeah.
So how did that role come about?
So a typical Los Angeles audition, and but then when I was going to audition in Los Angeles, I actually got sick. Like I got like 100 and I don't know 5 fever, something like I couldn't even
Oh,
make it.
is that
Yeah,
all?
yeah. I couldn't even make it to the audition. And so my manager reached out to the director, and where they were shooting is actually I have family there. I'm originally from Michigan. And so my manager reached out and was like, Kristopher's going to be in Windsor at this time. Like it was like 3 weeks later. Can he audition for you there? And so I basically, when I went to visit my family in Michigan, I saw my aunt and my like cousins in Windsor. And then I was like, I have an audition at the mall basically. And then I went to the director's parents' house and I auditioned there. And then they were like, okay, you're flying back here in like 2 weeks. Pack your bags. You're going to be rerun
Oh, that's
basically.
awesome. That's
So it was
awesome.
like, it kind of, like my saying goes, it all works out in the end. It really just panned out really well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you know any of the other actors ahead of time?
No, I knew none of them.
Because
I
you
met
guys
them for
had
the
some
first time.
chemistry. I wondered if maybe you knew some of them ahead of time because it you.
No, we all just kind of got along and, kind of, worked together and it worked out well. For the first table read, it was like, boom, it was magic. So I was happy.
That first table read had to be hilarious.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was like nervous and excited at the same time. So,
Had
because
you?
it's a new
I
software.
guess you had. Had you seen the script before the table read?
Yeah, but when you read it by yourself or you read it with your friends or something like that, it's a little
Yeah.
bit different when you're all together as an ensemble.
Right.
So right when you get it all together, then you're like, okay, we got something here. This is funny. And then you kind of like shift on what you want the product, your role to be, kind of, and stuff like that. Your own product, should I say? Yeah.
Yeah, it's such just a fun film. Right from the beginning, when he's walking and he's covered with the guitar, I mean, that was pretty great. That was pretty great. Yeah. I mean, as soon as that started, I was like, all right, yeah, we're watching this. That's pretty good. And the soundtrack was really good for it.
Yeah, I think they got a new composer when it switched distribution companies. Because the soundtrack was unbelievable. It was great. It flowed up the whole film and everything like that. So
yeah, because I didn't recognize, I don't think, any of the songs, but they were all good. Like they all fit the scenes.
Yeah, it meshed really well.
It really did. So I jumped ahead a little bit. Normally, I want to start by asking you how you got into entertainment. You know, what made you want to be an entertainer?
So basically, it was a combination of things. I grew up in the Midwest, so I grew up in Michigan, and you know, there you went outside and you had fun. But majority of the time, I drove my bicycle up to Blockbuster all the time, and it's been hours at Blockbuster.
Yeah.
So basically, Jim Carrey was a huge influence to me. So I watched The Mask, the Cuban Pete scene over and over at my house, and he was my idol. We came to California actually in '94 to spend Christmas here, and I got to see his handprints, and it was just like ingrained. He was like,
that's awesome.
He was, I worshiped anything Jim Carrey. I was obsessed with the books, movies, anything. And so another little tidbit too is I would go up north by my grandma's house, and she lived by like a lake, and it was like farmland. So there was nothing really to do besides like go fishing. And so she would watch her soap operas. And I was like, okay, I'm going to watch my soap operas with you. But I'm like,
gotta watch your stories.
Yeah, exactly. And so we would bond over Days of Our Lives. And there was a character by the name of Sammy, who was played by Allison Sweeney. And she was very diabolical, and she did all these crazy things, asleep with the boyfriends, whatever. It was just like crazy things that an 8-year-old shouldn't be watching. And so that warped in my head, and I'm like, ooh. And so I had like these two crazy worlds of Jim Carrey's like comedic entertainment, and then I had Sammy, played by Allison Sweeney, who was like evil and conniving, and I love horror films. So it kind of like meshed together. And then I was like, all right, how do I get in the industry? And so like I would write letters to like Ken Gordy, the executive producer of Days of Our Lives, and I was like, I want to be on your show. But you know, that didn't really, nothing happened out of that. So I slowly like learned. Everything, it was just learning. It was I took like small like acting classes. What they had in Michigan, it wasn't a lot. And then finally I was doing a co-op job at a Gardner White Furniture. It was like in the advertising department. And the lady who I worked for, she helped me like print out headshots and make up resumes with me. And so I started submitting them to California. But everyone in California was like, you got to live here. You got to live here. And so I'm like, I'm not giving up. So I started submitting them to Chicago. And I every time I just set it up in Chicago, and I was like, I live there basically, kind of. And so finally I landed McBlain and Associates, and it was an agent in Chicago. So at 16, got my license. You know, my mom drove me the first time to go with me to make sure I was okay. But then from 16 to 18, I was driving from Michigan to Chicago all the time for auditions. And I kind of kept it to myself, and just in case, you know, I'd know how things are. And so every time I would go and I'd miss, my mom would let me miss school, and I would go on like to do a short or some kind of like industrial film just to build up my resume.
Yeah.
And lucky stars, my mom, you know, trusted me, and I had a good head on my shoulders, and I was able to, you know, do this. And so 18 was approaching, and I was deciding, I was like, should I move to New York or Los Angeles? And I went and visited my aunt, cousin in New York, and I was like, this isn't for me. And I've been to Los Angeles before. And so basically right after graduation, my parents packed me up, and I moved out to Los Angeles.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
So, yeah, it was pretty good.
That's some perseverance there.
Yeah, it was a drive for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty good. So when you were in school, Did you take theater class?
I did, but I didn't mesh well with the theater teacher. She, for some reason, she was teaching like a class and it was very redundant every single semester. So, and I
Yes.
told her, I was a little smart ass back then. So here's my language, but I was like, she was like, your mom told me you want to be an actor. And I was like, yeah, but I don't want to be in a class where I'm learning the same exact thing all the time.
Right.
So that's why I took like a acting class out of my high school,
Yeah.
just because it was just different dynamic and everything like that. So
So I think, and I could be wrong, but didn't you have like a little appearance in Poseidon?
yeah, I was a waiter in Poseidon.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, because I always like to do it. I'm looking, I'm getting prepping a little bit, and I'm like, what have I seen them in before?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and I was talking with my wife and stuff, and I was like, I have this picture of him as a waiter.
Yeah, my first agent got me all these like small, like great little roles and stuff like that. I actually met him on like a cliche Hollywood and Vine, like at 11 o'clock at night, and it was a sketchy situation, but he actually turned out to be a really good first agent. He didn't take advantage. The other agents in the agency took me under their wing. I learned how to do like breakdowns, so I got like the best of both worlds. I got to be an actor, and I got to submit myself and try to climb the ladder, should I say.
Yeah, you got in there. That's
Yeah,
that's the hardest part sometimes.
yeah, exactly. And so I'm really thankful for them, because if I could have been another lost actor just trying to
Right.
figure it out, and they really took me under their wings, and I'm really appreciated for all of them that they took a chance, and they were trusting and and take care of me kind of
That's
deal.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you mentioned you were a big fan of Jim Carrey's. We had his ex-wife on, Lauren Holly.
Oh, really?
And yeah, and she was wonderful. She was wonderful. But I was dying to ask her about Jim Carrey. But they're not married anymore. So I was like, I didn't do it. I didn't ask. But she eventually brought him up herself. And I was like, okay.
She was talking about her film, Tammy is Dying.
No, she was talking about a Netflix show that she was doing. And let me think. I don't remember that she was like the head of a dance studio.
Oh, okay.
Where one of the girls in the first episode falls or is pushed off of a balcony, and one of her students, and then so the show's a mystery. But she was promoting that, so I got to talk to her about that. And I was just praying that she would bring up Jim.
Right. Well, you don't know what happened back in the day. So.
That's right. I didn't want to. If it was a bad memory, I didn't. But no, it was all good. So she talked about him a little bit. So.
I don't know how Amy Jo Johnson came up when I was doing my research last night, but she actually directed a movie called Tammy is Dying with Felicity Huffman and
Lauren Holly. Yeah.
Yeah. I do love. I haven't been to the Stanley Hotel yet to go, pay my homage to, the Danbury Hotel. It's on my list, but there's so many places on my list that I can't.
Well, you got plenty of time.
I know.
You got all kinds of time. Yeah. So rock paper scissors. How much taller are you than everybody else that you were hanging out with?
I'm a giant. I'm 6'3". So
yeah.
Everyone else is a lot shorter than me, but we're such an odd bunch that it worked.
It worked.
Really did, because I'm like, I'm the tall, gangly one. There's a heavier set gentleman. V is like the cool. V's character is like a cool, Hollywood person, and Bjorn is like the genius.
Yeah.
So we're all this eclectic bunch. So it was really good. Yeah.
Yeah. What was it like on set? I mean, are those guys, are they very serious, about what they're doing, or do they, are they kind of relaxed and kind of cut up in between takes? What was it like?
It was a mesh of everything. We got along really well. We had fun, and like the rap party was really fun and stuff like that. So we had a lot of fun. It was just, it was kind of like going through like a high school, thing, because it was all, everybody had their own personalities kind of deal.
Yeah.
So it was really good.
Yeah. It was really good. Who was the young lady that sang at the end?
I don't know. For her,
she was like he's playing the guitar and she's singing as the credits roll. She was really good.
Anna Atkin, I believe her name is.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She was really good.
I didn't have any scenes with her, so
yeah.
Kind of like, it's always like just shooting with whoever you're shooting. So
I know it's so weird. I think that's so weird that as a fan you're watching and you just assume everybody knows each other, but a lot of times you never even meet some of the other actors that are in the movie.
Yeah, exactly, and then you're like, oh, nice to meet you. You're in the film, kind of deal. And we shot, and I think she's a Canadian talent also.
Yeah.
So I'm not exactly sure because I didn't.
Yeah. Did you get to do the premiere thing? Did you get to do a little red carpet?
We didn't have a premiere or anything like that because it just came out in July, and I think because of COVID, I'm pushing with the the distribution company to hopefully have one like in Michigan where my family is, or in Las Vegas, because I have a lot of connections in Las Vegas, and that's my second.
Yeah, you deserve that.
Yeah, so we'll see what comes about. If not, I'll make my own or something like that.
When were you filming? Was that filmed last year or was it before?
No, way before. It was a few years ago, actually. Yeah, way before COVID. So yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Did it hold it up? Did COVID hold up the release?
No, I think it just changed hands and stuff like that through different distribution companies. So I think that's the only.
Are we going to get a rock, paper, scissors 2?
I think they should. I think they should do a rock, paper, scissors 2 and make us a little bit older now and make us not maybe college, but maybe like a Hangover version. Because originally in the original trailer, it was set in Las Vegas as the rock, paper, scissors tournament. But I think because we were in like blank USA, that they would and we drove the van. I didn't know how they would explain driving in a van from wherever to Las Vegas or something like that. Plus, we would have to shot at like a casino scene or something, which I would have loved. Which I would have loved. I want to do a film in Las Vegas in a heartbeat. I think it's.
Yeah, they need a sequel. I mean, and I think that would be really interesting to see where these characters are now.
Let Rerun actually be like kind of like a film producer or something. Like Sleep, Get Crazy, or Out There or something like that. Like very like Hugh Hefnerish, wears like a robe all the time or something.
I think I'd watch that.
Yeah,
he was such an interesting character. You got to because the scenes where he's like filming and stuff, hilarious, because you didn't know like when it first shows you filming, you have no idea where it's going.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh my lord.
Yeah. It was a good like POV shots and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hope they release like the deleted scenes, because there are some scenes that I shot that weren't in the movie, and some of it was improv and some of it was like shot way after filming. So I'm like curious, like
that would be good.
What those scenes look like and everything like
that. Do you have? Is there a blooper reel out there somewhere?
Right, that's what I want to see. I want to see the blooper. It'd be a lot of swearing or something.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So I saw that you were on a show called. Let me get it right. The Kpops.
Yeah.
What is that?
They're geniuses over there at that do produce the Kpops. It's like a YouTube channel for kids. And it's just like a simple background, and they develop all these like wacky characters.
Yeah.
And it's really genius because they have a lot of subscribers and a lot of like viewers, kids anyway, turning in, because that's where the market is. Because the kids, my nieces and my godchildren, they all love these types of shows, and so it's a great market and stuff like that. And so I played like a Dr. Blockhead. He was like a maniacal, crazy scientist. So,
I saw that, and I wasn't sure because it sounds like I was like, is it a Korean pop band? What is that show with that? But that makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Power Rangers group, because there's like 5 main girls, and then they have these interchanging characters. It's with Totally TV, and it's shot out of Burbank, so they're geniuses.
That's pretty awesome, because you're right. That's a lot of kids today. They don't even watch regular TV. Yeah, it's all streaming.
YouTube. Yeah, it's all YouTube or something like that. It's all streaming for sure.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, I got to check that out. We've got grandkids that would be around the right age for that. We got to check that out. Yeah. So, are you the bad guy?
He's Dr. Blockhead. He's like a maniacal scientist. So I was like, all right, I'll roll with it. Why not?
Like, I'll do it.
Yeah, listen, I love Halloween. So I was like, anything for me to dress up or something like that, I'm like, game. I'm like, you want to put prosthetics on my face? Game. Let's do this or something like that. So anything to dress up and change character, why not? Have fun. You live once.
So I also saw, and I watched the show, but I'd have to go back and watch it again. But you did an episode of Boston Legal.
Yeah, I did. That was in my earlier days too. Yeah, I did Boston Legal. William Shatner, he was nice.
Oh my gosh, I'm so jealous. That's like he's on the short list of my dream interviews. Is William Shatner?
I had a soapbox literally that I had to get on and give like a speech, and they wanted to cut some of it, and I was like, no, don't cut my speech. I was like, I need this, and I was like, wouldn't it be like great like this? And they're like, kid, come on, we gotta get going.
It's time to go.
Yeah. I'm like, I wanna give my speech, please. I need this kind of, but I wasn't desperate, but I was like, don't you want this in the scene? This sounds great. So
that's awesome. Yeah, I saw that. I'm sure I've seen it because I watched that entire series because I'm a big Shatner fan with that. So I'm sure
I have to rewatch it myself, all those episodes, because I didn't watch it when it was like
when it was out.
I just got part. Yeah, but I gotta redo it.
Yeah, it's a good show. So. You gotta check that out. Yeah, I've had many conversations with William Shatner's assistant, who is wonderful. She's so nice, but he's just so busy. I can't pin him down. You know, I'm gonna keep now. I got a connection. I was like, hey, I talked to one of your buddies from the show.
He's always at those conventions. Maybe hit him up at the conventions.
I think that's what I'm gonna have to do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to wait in line.
At those conventions or something.
That's right. Like just wait in line, kind of slip him the card.
Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna catch him at some point.
Okay. We'll go in the back. We'll do it quick.
Go in the back. We'll do it right here. He'll
come around. It always works out.
It always works out. That's right. That's right. He's getting a little older, so I got to get moving.
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna live to like 110. That guy.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's an icon. He'll be around. So, what genres have you not done that you would like to do?
I haven't done a horror film, and I really want to do
Oh, you need to.
I love anything Halloween. I love scary. I love maniacal and really deep. And I would love to play like the serial killer or something, because I look a little nice somewhat.
Yeah, it'd be scary.
Switch it up a little bit. So I think horror would be my next genre and stuff like that. Because when you do embody a character, you really kind of embody the mind and soul and stuff like that, so it can kind of screw with you. So that's why I love comedy, because it's you're happy. But I like dark and scary and stuff like that. I want to stay away from like sad satire. But if it comes along a role, why not?
Well, never say never. But
exactly, never say never, because it could be something like, whoa, I really connected with myself. So
you as the bad guy or the monster or the serial killer, that would be good, because it'd be completely you wouldn't expect it.
Remember like Macaulay Culkin back in the day when he did like The Good Child, or what was it called?
Yes.
And he was so good, and nobody liked that film. And I thought, this kid's a genius. I was like, he was all nice and sweet, and that movie's kind of like, oh my god, that he's screwing with a lot of people in a bad way.
Yeah. He was terrifying.
Exactly. So I like that.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that.
Exactly.
I'd watch that.
Yeah.
It'd probably take me a while to recover because I'm a big chicken, but I'd watch it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So do you prefer, now that you've done a little of both, do you prefer movies or television?
I think I like movies a little bit better, because you get to like gain like a family a little bit. And I know it's sad once you leave, but I like that whole camaraderie of being together and stuff like that. And I don't know, I just like movies a little bit better. It's like longer days on set. I don't know, I like it. I
totally get it, because you're more immersed, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
In the experience.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a longer story, and you kind
of
like get attached to the character and stuff like that. So
how long were you on set for Rock Paper Scissors?
we were there for 2 months.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah. So, and give or take, like I wasn't shooting that whole time, but it was about 2 months. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good. And where did it film?
Windsor, Ontario, Canada.
Windsor. Yeah.
A little like out, like if you cross the Detroit border, that's where Windsor's at.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not bad. That's like across the bridge for you or something.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
if you're out that way, I guess.
And then I was able to like visit my family in Michigan and stuff like that. So they told me not to, but
what do they think about your acting? Because they were kind of supportive, you said. But what do they think now that you've got this movie out? What do they think?
They love it. They think it's totally great. They, I have support all around, and they think they're happy that I actually went after my dream and it's progressing. Yeah. And that's what I say. I was like, I don't get nervous that the next project isn't coming right away. I just stay creative and do what I want, because you live one life really. And so I always said to my mom, I was like, thanks for supporting me. It's a crazy dream, but I still, she can see that I'm doing multiple facets of stuff. So, and
yeah, that's really cool. Yeah. Do they walk around with like rerun T-shirts? Because that's
no, not yet. I haven't made. Maybe I'll make some for Christmas or something.
You need to. My son is rerun, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll make some for Christmas.
So what other artistic avenues do you have? What else are you do you paint? Do you do music? What else do you do outside of acting?
Yeah, during COVID, I actually did a lot of painting, and it was like very like modern, crazy art where I cut up stuff and I just, painted whatever I felt in canvas, because I'm a person sometimes when my sleep schedule's a little off, I'm up at night. And I probably get that from my like great grandmother. She always cleaned at night. So I'm like, I got to do something. So I started painting, and I got to keep on doing it because it's expressing yourself. And so it's the best way. I think painting is a lot. And I want to get into making probably documentaries of some sort. I keep seeing ideas, and I got a lot of influence from friends who did documentaries. And stuff like that. So I think I want to hit that avenue a little bit, because everyone has a story to tell, and we all have interesting lives. And I think sometimes when you don't go to a certain culture or a certain avenue in life, you take a step back and you're like, wow, I didn't know that kind of deal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So what? Give me an example of something you would do a documentary on.
It was like weird. I was walking past this house here in West LA, and it's very old, and it's probably like $8 million something, but it looks very spooky. And so I thought I would ask the owner, like, tell me about your house a little bit, or about you, because you don't know what kind of story they have.
Right.
They live on Lynbrook. So I was like, the house on Lynbrook or something. I don't know. I just keep thinking about stuff. And then also maybe like, my father has a house it's my house too, in Macedonia, and it's very old. It's over 100 years old. So I don't know if and he grew up in a village in Luboino, Macedonia. It's like a really small village. And I don't know, maybe do a documentary on the people there or the house or something like that. So,
that'd be a good place for a horror story.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I want to always incorporate that kind of, that house and that village into some kind of movie or film. So I've been writing and stuff like that also.
Yeah, that's pretty well. That was my next question. If you write, or do you want to get into the writing part of it?
Yeah, writing is hard for me. So I'm slowly but surely like writing stuff down, and basically, just putting all my thoughts down and taking a chance and seeing how it goes. Because when you start with a treatment, you never know what can come out of it. So that's
right.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. So did you actually have to stick your hand in the fan?
I think I did. I can't remember, to be honest. I think we did. I think I'm not sure if I did, but I think I did. Yeah, I think I did.
Yeah. That looked painful.
Yeah, but I don't think it was like a sharp blade or anything like that.
So, no. It was a funny scene though.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I've done that before. I was watching I had it's been years ago, but I'd had surgery, so I had trouble moving around. But I'd stood up and I was watching a football game, and they scored or something. I got excited and I threw my hands up right into the fan, both hands, and just Yeah, it was awful. It was awful, and it wasn't sharp, but it still hurt.
But that back in the day, all the time, they would see how fast you could do it or
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it looked like something. I was like, that's something kids would do. I don't know how that would help you with rock paper scissors, but okay.
Right. Yeah. They had to think of something.
I enjoyed the training montage. That that amused me. That you guys are actually like training for this
Oh yeah,
competition.
yeah. And
I was like,
the
okay.
tallest, maybe fittest one there, I collapsed and stuff like that. I thought it was hilarious. I was like, all right, I'll go with it. And I'm
Yeah.
like, can't breathe and stuff like that.
Well,
It
and
was
I thought it was really funny because they took time to flesh out some of the other teams. You know, not just your rivals, but some of the other teams that were in the competition. I thought that was really good.
we shot in a field, like it was like basically farmland where we were doing like the jogging scenes and stuff like that. And I'm like, where are we? And I've been to many times, and I was like, I've never been in this area. And I'm like looking around, and I'm like, this is crazy. So it was fun to actually like venture out a little bit into Windsor and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Did you make any friends that you're still in contact with?
On the film?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, some of them have had families now, so we see each other. Like he has a family now, like a baby boy, I believe.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so yeah, we keep in contact, or of course on social media and stuff like that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, but during COVID, it was a little bit harder. But yeah, we keep in contact on you know, social media and say how it was.
So who was the cut up? Who was the funny one?
V was the funny one too, besides me. Yeah, V was really funny.
Yeah, well, I would have guessed you too.
Yeah, V had a good sense of humor and everything like that too.
Yeah,
his was like dry, like good humor. So yeah, I liked V a lot.
So
and
you didn't get a significant other in the movie.
No, they should have made me go to, like, I don't know. They should have gave me somebody.
Somebody?
Yeah, right. At least somebody that liked movies or something like that.
Yes.
That's okay. I know. Maybe in the sequel.
That's right. That's right. Because that's what I was like. Oh, come on.
He'll have a couple significant others or something.
Somebody should have been kind of mooning over you a little bit.
Right. Exactly.
Even in the background.
Or obsessed or something, like really creepily.
Oh, that'd have been hilarious.
I'd been like, I don't like her. I don't like him. I don't somebody. Get him away from me, kind of deal.
Yeah, the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
We got to do it. Yeah. So, have you ever done anything like podcasting, anything like that, where or blogs, anything where you're just putting stuff out there?
No, I haven't.
So you seem like you'd be a good podcaster.
I think so too. I think like I'm very communicative with people, and I like stuff. So maybe that's another adventure. I don't know.
Maybe so.
This brain is filled with so much stuff. And I keep like saying, even since the film came out, I'm like, there's not enough time in the day, kind of deal. And I'm like, it's like a rat race over here. And I'm like, I need more time. But, okay.
I can see you podcasting. I bet you could even do stand-up comedy.
I got to venture out to stand up. I was going to do it, and then COVID happened, and I just now, as soon as things open up a little bit, I think I'm going to take that venture out too, because I got a lot of weird stories growing up, and a lot of interesting European stories, I would say, with my friends and stuff like that happened that I really want to maybe divulge and stuff like that.
Yeah, you need to do that, because that's the best type of stand up is the stories. Yeah, instead of just the one-liners, when you're actually telling us just a funny story.
Because it's raw, and it's actually like, and you laugh out loud yourself because you just reminisce, and it's kind of like a reminisce kind of thing.
There's nothing better, like when you're watching a comedian and they're cracking themselves up. I mean, that's hilarious. It's hard not to laugh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there you go. I've planned out the rest of your year.
Right. Yeah. Speaking of comics, I would love if I met Pete Davidson once at the Golden Globes.
Yeah.
2 years ago, and I said, we look like each other, and he's like, yeah, and I would love him to play my brother because we're both tall and gangly. And
you could totally do that, and you do look like him, or he looks like you.
I would say to him, like, I would probably be like the responsible something, I don't know, like nerdy one, and he can be like the reckless one, and then we switch or something crazy, kind of like like he would be my brother in some sort, because I feel like
I'd watch that.
Yeah, right. So I'm gonna pound it out a little bit more on the computer and see what I can come up of it.
Yeah. You just tell me who I need to call. I'll make that happen.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, come on, Pete.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Would you be interested in something like that, like a Saturday Night Live or a variety show, something like that?
I like Saturday Night Live, don't get me wrong, but I loved Mad TV when I was growing up. Some of
Oh,
those
yeah.
characters were out there so much. And I actually went to a taping when the original cast was there in 2004, and I fell in love with all of them. And I thought they were all geniuses.
Yeah.
So I'm more of a Mad TV type of person, but SNL is great too. So it's,
Yeah. We miss Mad TV.
Yeah, exactly. They need to bring back the OGs and stuff like that.
Yeah. They did that at one time. They brought it back several years later, and some of the older characters would pop in and out on that. Like, but they need to do that again. That was a good
Stuart
show.
And Lorraine and all them.
Stuart was hilarious.
Classic. Michael McDonald. He's a classic. When I talked to him after the show, I was just like, I love you, because I'm a 2-year-old. And I'm like, what are you drinking? He's like, it's wine. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, relaxing after the show. So it was like just fun moments. And so it's when I actually get to meet them in like the industry atmosphere, I express myself and I'm like, you had an influence kind of in my life, to give them appreciation. See,
I love that because that's exactly how I would be, because I've talked to actors and they're like, no, you got to keep it professional. I was like, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
The fan in me, even if I was another actor, I'd fan out a little bit.
Just be like, express yourself and be like, because sometimes they're going to step back and be like, oh, I meant somebody to something. You don't know what they're going through in their life. So if you tell them something nice and, it could lighten their day a little bit.
Yeah, you never know. So is Jim Carrey, is he the one? Is he the one you still want to meet?
I actually went to the Sonic Hedgehog premiere in Westwood before COVID.
Yeah.
But I didn't meet him. Like, he was close enough to see, but I was like, this isn't the right moment. Everyone was like attacking him. And I don't want to ask for a picture. I actually want to have like a conversation.
Yeah.
Because I've actually I see like how he is with fans and everything like that. So I just wanted to have it not professional, but I want to be connected with him when I have my conversation. So there's always moments in time where I'm like, this is the moment, and I'm like, okay, it's not yet, but I know that one day we're gonna cross paths, and I'm gonna say how what a positive influence
he could be your and Pete's dad.
And you know who I want my mom to be?
Who?
Goldie Hawn.
Oh my gosh, I'd watch that.
It's a crazy duo, but my mom has like blonde hair, and she's like kind of, her and Goldie Hawn would be best friends, I think, if we put them in a room together, because she's so like funny and boisterous and and Jim and her never worked together, so I was like, please let her. I want that family right there.
Yeah, I'd watch that movie.
Maybe throw Amy Schumer in there to be my sister. All bunches and stuff like that.
What a family,
right?
What would we call this family?
I don't know, the dysfunctional family. The dysfunctions, but it has to have like a good storyline where it comes all together. It has to be warm and loving, but crazy at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, that'd be a really good comedy. I'd watch that.
So I'm throwing it out there to the universe that I want Goldie Hawn to play my mom, maybe Jim Carrey to play my father, or something along the lines, and Pete to play my brother. So
there we go.
Yeah.
Now we got to make it happen.
Right? You throw it out.
All we need is a story.
Yeah, exactly. I'll think of something.
Oh, that's great. Well, Kristopher, this has been terrific. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Yeah. The movie was Rock, Paper, Scissors. It's hilarious. Everybody should go watch it. Where's it available?
Google Play, Redbox online, Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, yeah.
Everything video on demand across the board. So
yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I think you're right. Dodgeball meets Superbad. I think that's a very good description.
Yeah, just come on and take a look at it. It's going to be a little bit of a cult classic.
Yeah, I think it will. It's got all the elements.
It'll come back like a year. People are gonna like sit down and they're gonna be like, "Oh, this is really funny."
Yeah, it's really funny. Yeah, it totally does. I agree. That's a cult classic. We're calling it right now.
Yeah.
So, Kristopher, before you go, is there anything that you have upcoming outside of the new movie that we can keep an eye out for?
Just follow me on Instagram at Kristopher Maz. I'll just update you on anything coming up. And I have some stuff in the pipeline now that this movie came out. I have some directors working with me on a new project, and I think it might be a horror film. We'll see. I don't want to. I'm a person that likes to not jinx myself before it happens. Right. So, just keep a lookout on my Instagram, and we'll have some good stuff coming in the future for sure.
Yeah, whatever it is, you got to come back and talk about it when you're able.
I'm going to. I'll come back to you, Michael.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. Good. Okay. Good. Okay. So, last thing, where can we find you on social media?
At Kristopher Maz on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I found you pretty easy. Yeah. Wasn't too difficult to find you.
Yeah. Exactly.
I enjoyed the picture of you and your grandmother.
Yeah, she's my world, man. She, I miss her every day, but that lady gave unconditional love, and I think that any human needs to have that. That's where I got it from, is my grandma.
Yeah,
man.
That's what grandparents are supposed to do.
Yeah, she's looking down and she's laughing and saying, "Oh, my Kristopher," and she's just thinking everything is so hilarious, and she's guiding my way. So I'm really happy. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, Kristopher, thank you so much. Hold on one second. Okay. So that was Kristopher Maz. Hilarious. What a great guy. I was so excited to talk to him. We were supposed to talk a couple of days ago, and I had a little emergency and had to reschedule, and he was nice enough to do that. I'm so glad he did. That was great. So the movie is Rock, Paper, Scissors. Do yourself a favor. Check it out. It's the next cult classic. Hilarious. It's a lot of fun. It's good, a good, relaxing, funny evening. So it's a good way to pass the time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in again this week. Really appreciate that. If you haven't done so yet, we would really appreciate if you'll go to our YouTube channel, Meisterkhan Pod, give us a like and a subscription. And you can also find us on our website, meisterkhan.com. I think we're closing in on 300 episodes. So there's a ton of stuff on there. There's hundreds of interviews. There's a ton of shows. If you're geeky, I guarantee you'll find something that you like or someone that you like. So please check that out. Meisterkhan.com, audio and video. So you can choose how you want to absorb us. So thank you so much. Until next time, everybody. Bye.